Switch to the right scene. Alright, there we go. So, the part that we left off on yesterday, yep, we got the menu stuff fixed. We are getting there with the application. We've got something off to the right there that is not quite good. Right, like, we shouldn't be overlapping that. Let's see if some of these other pages load. They do not. Ooh, no routes, matched location, user settings. Interesting. I'll have to go look at that. Ooh, our switch here is broken. So yeah, we still got like a bunch of stuff broken here. But we're on the right track. So the thing I want to do next is we want to fix the overlap here on the right, and I think that is just something we can figure on the app shell. I do use Tailwind, but this is a mix of Tailwind and Mantine. Mantine is doing the component that is like this scrollable section with the sidebar on the left and right and all that stuff. So yeah, Mantine has a lot of like really powerful components that are quite nice. And when building a dashboard, the app shell one is awesome. Right? Just like it handles some of those like fiddly bits of like which section is scrollable, like blah blah blah. So yeah, we use Mantine for individual like element styling, but I'm still using, we use Tailwind for individual element styling, but I'm using Mantine for component styling basically. But we can still apply Tailwind classes to our Mantine components as we see them. It does mean that there is a little bit of like specificity issues, but I'm okay trading some of that. Yeah, there are some things that are not perfect with it. I'll agree with that. Tailwind is useful. So basically any type of like atomic styling like that is awesome. And if you've used Bootstrap already, you're going to be familiar with some of these, such as like text center, right? Like some of those Bootstrap classes are actually in Tailwind because the creator of Tailwind took major inspiration from Bootstrap's utility classes. But yeah, Tailwind goes further with it. Like everything is that way. Yeah, there are some other utility classes that are interesting. Radix may have been Tailwind based in the past, but it isn't anymore. So yeah, Radix UI does its own like token system as well, I believe, right? Like the primitives. Maybe that's it. I don't know. But then There's another one too that I'm totally forgetting the name of, but Atomic, yeah, here we go, Uno. Uno CSS is another similar, like, Atomic styling system. So at that point, like, as long as you're in Atomic styling, then you're still getting a lot of the benefits due to, like, something like Purge CSS, etc. Windy was like the older one that I think Uno CSS became. No. So Atomic styling is just about, like, utility classes. Right? So, like, the text center stuff, right? Things like that. So here, where I'm doing, like, PB0 and BG primary 50, things like that. Those are, like, very focused, like, single class specificity, like, styles, which means that overriding them becomes incredibly easy too. Now, it does mean that I have to do the exclamation point here to override something on app shell. So no, the 50 is not 50%. They're doing their own, like, color scale. Shades. Yeah, this one will do. Sure. So basically, like, it's 50 all the way up to 900. Yeah, it's more like the deepness or depth of the color. Exactly. Yeah, it's like a tinting or shading thing. So your, like, canonical color is usually going to sit at 600, sometimes 500, depending on the system. And then from there, you just got, like, the darker and lighter. And it's just, yeah, I don't know, it's useful for theming. So that's, like, just CSS fonts in general. I don't think that's necessarily a Google thing. Right? Like, font weight as a number has been a CSS thing for ages, and I think it even goes back to, like, print. Just say that's good enough. I don't know if that's actually what I want, but I at least want to see it over there. So now, bam! Yep, we get it here in the center, and the... yeah. And the aside is over on the... It goes back to true type? Okay. And it doesn't have any relation to print stuff? Or is true type like a print system that was adapted? True type introduced the 100 values? Okay, interesting. Okay. Yeah, I mean, you'll find yourself, especially when you're learning, going back to, like, Tailwind and just like, oh, hey, how do I do, like, flex and some of that stuff? And then eventually it becomes second nature. Right? So, like, they do a really good job of just showcasing, like, how you modify some of these things. right? And like, yeah, you're just typing a little bit out and then some other stuff happens. Right? So like text center, like, I don't know. Yeah, this is a really good demo. I think they did a great job with it. I think the biggest part of it is that it sits right there in your template with you, which means that you're not going out to another file for it, which is hugely useful. So here's the thing, Jerome. Yeah, your CSS files stay really small because you don't, like, look at my index CSS here, right? I'm importing some fonts. I'm doing Tailwind components and utilities. And then from there, I just have a couple like specific things I'm doing in a custom way. So really like this, I'm not even sure I need. But I think I did it on purpose for some reason. But like I even have some like custom utility classes that they don't have that I wanted to define a bit. So I only have that and then my SR only, which I'm curious if Todd Libby has a strong opinion on this SR only. And here's a link for it. Right? Like, is this a non-accessible SR only field? I don't know. I like how they explain like why they do some of these things though, right? Like the 1, 2, 3, 4 parts, like, yeah. Oh, really? Oh, okay, hold on. Oh, it was that font? Okay. So you went down a rabbit hole, didn't you? Oh, so the number system was very different. That makes sense. Cool. Yeah, good find. Oh, and I'm still recording. I don't need to be recording. But okay, so we get this app shell looking a little bit better. I believe there is some element here that isn't showing yet. Ooh, and it looks like our padding bottom didn't make it through. Oh, got it. So it's happening up on here as part of the app shell root, but it's not in the app shell main. All right, and then custom aside. How to keep a WebSocket connection alive when a browser is minimized to the system tray besides sending a ping pong every X seconds. I think you need to do a keep alive. I think that's the only way to do it, which is the ping pong. Yeah, I guess it would depend. Every system I've looked at or dealt with requires some kind of like keep alive. I don't know about Cloudflare queues. For my backend, I use Architect, so arc.codes, and it basically abstracts out a whole bunch of AWS stuff for me. So like you can get scheduled events or queues like super easy. Right? I just set it up, run the thing, and I'm done. Right, like this is still a cron or like a lambda that we would have to make, but like the scheduling of it is done without my effort. Same thing with queues. Like I just set up the queue, and we're good to go. At which point, like if we go look at my backend, you can see queues being used there. Sure. Account reconciliation. Bam. So this is me setting up the queue itself, I believe. Let's see. Where am I actually like publishing to it? Here we go. Here's an example. So in my billing reconciliation script, for each business, I just publish the item with the payload that I care about to the queue, and I'm done. So yeah, like Architect really abstracts out a lot of this stuff for me in like a really cool way. So yeah, basically when I'm doing the billing reconciliation for this project, I read from my database, grab every user that is a usage-based billing user, and then I just fan it out to the queue and let the queue do the work. So I'm no longer like having this lambda running for any longer than just the initial data fetch and then like the fan out, which is pretty cool. And yeah, this is a scheduled job as well. So yeah, this is just gonna run whenever I have it actually running. All right, I got my scheduled cron that runs at midnight daily. And I got my queues that I'm pushing to. It is just for AWS though, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense, Tech Penguin. I didn't think the JS got stopped, but it does get throttled. Yeah, like KG, I would say if you end up building out like the same kind of thing for Cloudflare, you've got a major product on your hands. Oh, it depends on the amount of tabs. I didn't know that. Okay. Oh, and so maybe even like the throttling is like an exponential roll-off kind of thing. I don't think I knew that. Okay, that's kind of cool. What's up, Sublig? Hey, thank you.
We are in the presence of greatness. Sublig is a renowned star in the world of hoverboarding, a thrilling sport where athletes perform airborne tricks.
How do you guys feel about these,
their greatest
was
during the global hover
the notifications on screen? I just added them the other day. I used to have one, but I totally, like, spaced on it.
Had never been accomplished.
And, like, we haven't had it going for ages.
Not only won them the championship title, but also set a world record, establishing Sublig as one of the premier athletes in
I think like over the chat is probably the best place for it. Can I replay it? It did do that like sound effect too though. You don't watch my stream, so I'm just here in the background. I'm just audio for you. Which is fine. That's a proper way to use it. Oh, okay. I gotcha. Ooh, Jerome, that is one hell of a hack. Oh, that is a cool hack. I like that. Let me re-enable Architect. This album is good. Yeah, this album's solid. It's like a bunch of different artists, but they're all like, you know, they're all songs inspired by Waltr, the guy that did the Miami Vice soundtrack. Or not Miami Vice, sorry, Beverly Hills Cop. Brain fart. Or at least like the song. Ooh. Oh, yeah. Okay, I remember what Invoker is. Invoker is just a thing that I can do over here. So it depends, KG. Like, was it a really long message? Yeah, yep. So yeah, that might have been a big part of it. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. Ooh, and is there a reason for that, Tech Penguin? Like, do you see something you don't like about how I'm doing some of this then? Oh, I gotcha. So you mean like cron, like on the system? Okay, right. Not necessarily like as like a scheduling pattern. Okay. Yeah, but a cron running every minute makes a lot of sense. You know something actually I find very kind of cool about WordPress? WordPress has the idea of WP cron, which runs on systems where you don't even have like cron access, right? So like shared hosting that doesn't give you that. And the way it works is actually kind of novel. It simply queries through and looks for things that should have run if the cron, like, you know, was running like a proper cron, but it just runs it like on the next request. So it does mean that there are some things that might not run if you don't get a user to your site, but it's still kind of like a novel idea. So basically, like, it's like a queue system that simply just looks at timestamps like, hey, should this have run? Yeah, it's actually kind of nifty.
Everybody stop what you're doing, please! Stop it! Stop what you're doing!
So it doesn't run constantly like the system cron does. It only triggers on a page though.
Everyone stop! You put the bucket down!
Mostly denial of service issues. Oh, interesting, right? Because, yeah, the cron runs so often that it could end up being like the stampede effect or whatever. Right, and each system's cron might be slightly different, sure. I can see that.
Put the bucket down! Somebody give me the foreman! I'd like to see the foreman. Can you see the foreman here? You're the foreman? Yeah. Well, I need to see the plans then for this house. You're making
For WordPress, for example, any user could manually call the cron jobs. I'm not quite sure what you mean by that.
guys stop working, please! Stop it! Get the plan! Stop working! Give me the plan! Whoa, wait. These are wrong. These are wrong. These are the wrong plans. These are the old plans. Oh, these are the old plans. What are you talking about? Weren't you at the meeting? No. What the answers before they went to Hawaii? No. They didn't tell you to come to the meeting.
It still is a PHP file. Oh, I see what you mean. Right, so like it was a file that someone could send a request directly to, and that would fire it off. Got it. Yeah, I'm not aware that it functions that way anymore. And for the most part, you want to like disallow anybody running any other file besides like the admin and the main pages. Yeah, it's long since been patched. Yeah. And like for like a hardened security setup for WordPress, I believe they recommend that you disallow any other PHP file from being like directly accessed. Oh, really, Todd? I didn't know that. And Matthias Billman, is that the dude from Netlify? Yeah, it is. Okay, yep. Yeah, he seems cool. I got to meet him at Render. He seems cool. Okay, cool. Yeah, I haven't really heard much from Matt Mullenweg. I do often cite how it's kind of cool that he was able to like force Facebook to change the license for React just by like threatening to not use React for Gutenberg, like the editor. I thought that was kind of cool. Like he has a lot of power as the WordPress guy, you know. But that also, you know, maybe that power went to his head. I don't know. Yeah, that's kind of a bummer. hear like a thumping sound. I was wondering where it was coming from because the music just stopped. Yeah, I mean, I think WordPress's big power is like its ability to be backwards compatible and to work anywhere. You know, like it's really cool. And I think the way like the architecture of it is smart. Like, is the whole hook and filter system something that they took from Cafe Log? Because, yeah, the hook and filter system is really cool, too. Oh, and Alaric, I just saw that. Yeah, I've done Golang. I typically only pick up Golang when I'm doing CLI tools. That's like the niche that it really satisfies for me. Right, like Cobra and Viper and like the Bubble Tea like libraries are amazing. Right? So yeah, building CLI tools is the niche that I use Golang for. Yeah, no worries, Todd. See you in a bit. All right, so let's continue this process. Something about the height of this is a little wonky to me. I'm trying to figure out why that height is so wonky. Because it's not showing up as padding. At least in the hover. I don't see a height value for... Oh, we do see a height value. Oh. Oh, okay. Yeah, good night, Tech Penguin. Yeah, thank you for the chatting. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, see you again soon. As the name for your thing? I don't know. It seems like a stretch. Yeah, I would say try and, like, shorten the name up a bit, right? Like, the less words in it, the better. So consider, like, Vercel, Netlify, like... The more words you have in the name, the less ideal. In general, right? No name. If you can find that, go for it. Naname. Here's the thing, though, Privan, like, do you have it built already? Okay, so you do have it built. You're at the point where you do need the name. Yeah, I don't know, man. I would say it might be worth creating a thread over in, like, the mod channel in Discord. I wouldn't do it in, like, one of the main channels, just because there might be someone that snipes them. But I trust my mods not to snipe you. Yeah, I say, yeah, you should probably sleep on it, for sure. Yeah, I mean, there are only two hard problems in programming. Naming things, cache invalidation, and off by one errors. Shit. So I think what I end up wanting to do is... web developer, like, this whole thing basically works. Like, the dashboard is maybe just 4 pages right now. Ooh, there you go, Vibrant. Yeah, I'm considering getting it for sure. Oh, we got a bunch of errors still, though. Oh, that's our token being invalid. I'm okay with that. We got redirected. Damn it, I already forgot. Where's my fixtures? I didn't keep it open. Scripts, here we go. Generate fixtures. John Bon Jovi at Gorilla. I don't even know why I picked that name. Sure, Vibrant. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I think I already have the one picked out. The biggest thing I'm looking for compared to it, though, is... yeah, the volume is the big thing. So yeah, it depends on which one, Pyro. Hold on. Right, did you get, like, this one? Hold on. Are they... Oh, they're lazy. Got it. I plan on getting this one. Or it's one of them. It might be this one. Oh, so hers is like this one? Got it. Oh, so yeah, Pyro. A lot of that stuff really, really does depend. The Winter one that I have over here was definitely louder, but yeah, like the brands are going to make a big difference based upon like the compressor they're using and all sorts of stuff. So the compressor might be the thing that you're talking about as like noisy. Yep. Yeah, at some point though, worth it. Room you were using it in was pretty small. Yeah, I mean, this one's like a 10 by 10. Like, it's not a big room either. Hey, I think this is the one I was actually looking at. Yeah, that's totally the one. So, reduces energy cost, sure. Oh, their website. I do remember reading that this is like the quietest one you can get. And this is novel. It's like the dual hose system. Find that interesting too. So yeah, 42 decibels, basically. As low as, though, right? So yeah, at like the highest setting, it's probably a bit louder. Let's double check that. So I think one big thing they're talking about here, Vibrant, is 2x because it has a dedicated intake and output, right? Or outtake or whatever, or exhaust. And my Winter does that too. So basically, by not sharing the same exact tube, it's able to like transfer the air better or something. Yeah, lowest is actually off. If it's 42 decibels at off, that's a problem. But yeah, I might need to like look up my Winter and see what its like volume level was. No. So yeah, like dedicated like intake and dedicated exhaust like tubes are important. The fact that they combine it into one tube, I think is maybe just something that makes it a little nicer to like set up. I think it also means that they can charge more money for it and you have to buy through them basically. Oh no, is this not a proper form? No, it is. It's just slow. So yeah, I should be using Tanstat Query. I will be refactoring to that for sure. Yeah, our button's broke. We'll have to fix that. Oh, I think it's the same menu issues that we had. That's a bummer. Yeah, that sucks, Vibrant. I think it depends. For like a login form, I don't think I am. We can go look. I think that's worth double checking. We need another Jan Michael Vincent to Quadrant 7. Yeah, no worries, Todd. Yeah, have a good one, man. Yeah, so let me look at where we're doing this. We can minimize the API for now. Dashboard is where we're doing it. Let's look at pages, and we look at login. I am doing useful. Ooh, yeah, good call. So yep, I'm using Mantine Forms. I think. Yep. Let me double check one thing with my TS config. I'm wondering if maybe we do that format instead. No, that doesn't help. No, that makes sense, Kirby. Like, really, the forms for this site are very simple. So I don't think I benefit from a lot of that. Like, you know, this form, right? Like, it's all, like, disparate, and we don't have, like, a dedicated, like, save button for any of it. You like the name Waltr? Thanks. Yeah, maybe that's something Prevan should do. Just give it, like, a person name. And then, like, you know, alter the spelling. That might be something for Prevan to do. Yeah. Oh, cool. You're still around. Yeah. Right? Like, find a character from a film that you really like and base it off that, right? But, like, somewhat related to analytics or something, right? Like, or someone who's an analyst in a film you like. It'll be hard to actually, like, Google for, though. Wallet, Vault, and Waltr. Yeah, exactly, Sublink. It's actually based upon the word wallet. And, like, the name was, like, Walletr. But it's pronounced Waltr. Right? So if it's an analyzer, maybe the name is Lyzer. L-Y-Z-E-R or something. Yeah, I don't know. That might be something. Yeah, think about some character that you really like there, Prevan. Maybe someone that just cares about privacy, or someone that just cares about, I don't know, regulations or something. I don't know. Waltr would definitely have a mustache. Is that why we're growing one out, staying on brand? Ooh, nicely done, Pyro. Here's the thing. When I think of a character from a film named Waltr, I jump to Big Lebowski, and I don't trust Waltr Sobchak whatsoever. Like, no, I definitely don't trust Waltr. Toe is over the line! Like, you know, like, you mark it 0. You are entering a world of pain. All right, so we're looking pretty good with this so far. Some of our styling is still broken though, right? Like this should be red. I think we want to get that switch working though. There you go, exactly, Vibrant. The whites. Exactly. My dirty undies, dude. Nothing's fucked here, dude. I say that line all the time. I say that line so much. It's such a good movie, yeah. So, yeah, back to what we're doing. Oh yeah, I'm spacing on his name now. Does Waltr support scheduled sales? That's more on like the application developer first. I'm trying to keep it focused on just being an API for like managing the balances. I think how you get someone to purchase and like how that purchase happens is really still on like the user's end. And it could eventually be a Waltr thing, but yeah, I think right now it's more about just the balance management. How you add to that balance is interesting. But yeah, how you doing, Sonic? What you up to? Yeah, let's get rid of stuff that we're not using. God, I really want to fix this bug though. Like that red is bumming me out, you know? Oh, absolutely, Beistar. Yep. Yeah, no, I like that. Thank you. I think for me, I want to focus on building out like an MVP more than like adding features. And I want to get this MVP like launched as soon as possible. Right? I need to like prove out the idea, at least with my own projects. Yeah. Yeah, so I'm like specifically forcing myself not to add a bunch of features, right? Like, we don't even have a way of adding like your, like an image for the URL, right? Like, or for like your brand. We probably will at some point. I don't think we even have the idea of like teams set up for this right now. So like multiple people being able to log in. We will definitely need that. But I want to make sure I got it like even like usable by an indie hacker first. Got Windows back installed along with Visual Studio Community. So you're happy now. Gotcha. Yeah, I think a dual boot situation is probably just the way to go there, Sonic Dev. Right, because inside of a virtual machine, that would have sucked. Right, like Visual Studio inside of a VM sounds miserably slow. Yeah, we do want to get like better project tracking going on this. I think I'd still rather like approach it from, I don't want to work on something that I don't like immediately need as a consumer, because I want to get this working on a bunch of my projects. So Headringer, think about pretty much every AI service out there, right? You have the idea of tokens or like credits. No, I have a project management like thing going for sure. Like we're good there. I'm slacking on that part because I just need to port this thing first. Like, so I could do it in Trello, I could use GitHub pages or GitHub projects, I could do all sorts of stuff. But right now, we're just doing something so simple that like tasking doesn't matter as much. And I'm also giving LogSec a try as well. But yeah, so Headringer, right? Like, think about any of those, like, credit-based AI tools, right? Especially, like, indie hacker-based, where OpenAI is going to bill you for each usage of their APIs. As an indie hacker building out your own wrapper around OpenAI, you're going to want to pass that billing on to someone else. So that, like, the noisy people, right? Or the heavy power users of your product are still paying their fair share. So does that make sense? So that's at least like one target market. The other target market is, imagine games, right? Like a lot of games you play have the idea of a marketplace where you can buy cosmetics and things like that. Boom. That's another great use case for a balance as a service. Because, you know, some games might not want to be purely Steam store based, right? They may be on a bunch of different platforms. Maybe an Xbox app, maybe a whatever, right? And you're still going to want to have like your own like token system for that. So it's more like the purchase would come through Steam or Xbox or whatever, but then it gets into your app and you're dealing with like the credits that they purchased for use within your game, you know? So my goal is not to be like doing any of the payment provider stuff. I want to proxy all of that to those people so that my liability is lower. And then we're just doing like the heavy lift of, if you want to do a usage-based billing, such as DigitalOcean, you could set that up too. So you could basically build your own DigitalOcean competitor with what I'm trying to do. And get their same like wallet system. DigitalOcean's wallet is like the exact use case I was thinking of when I started building this. And then I started pivoting to, well, also you could just do like a marketplace style, like like single purchase kind of thing instead of just usage. So I want to scratch those 2 itches. So I want to do like the provider thing. Yeah, no worries. And yes, I need to put all of this into a pitch deck. Maybe the only thing you like about DigitalOcean? I think it's incredibly novel, the way they do it. And part of what Waltr would do for usage-based billing that's deducting from a balance, we would also handle like emailing people with the reminder that their balance is getting low. Things like that. We can make all of that happen for users so they can concentrate on actually building out their thing. And that's like what a good software as a service does, right? It doesn't aim to solve every problem for a business, but it aims to solve one that isn't their core business. So yeah, thanks, Edbringer. Yep. Yeah, I like it. I think it's a fun idea. And we've got it mostly built out. We do have some major things we need to do, such as updating all of our dependencies, because we haven't touched this for 2 years. So, Mantine, we went from version 4 to version 7. Yikes. Right? We're pivoting from Create React App to Vite. Right? Things like that. So that's the part that we're doing right now. Just like updating this whole thing. Yeah. That would be up to... That would be like a stretch goal. That's not something I'd want to do until I get maybe like VC funding. Or I'm bootstrapped enough to afford like the liability of the lawyers and all that, like, just making sure we wire that up correctly in a secure way. Because I don't want to store or handle any of the payment stuff. I simply want to let someone else do that, maybe. And then maybe we're just listening. Like, I think we're still going to have to do wrappers around Stripe. Like, we're going to want to be the ones that set up the webhook, maybe. I don't know. That's where it gets a little trickier. I'm not sure of, like, the scope that we want to handle for the actual payment providers yet. Right? And right now, Stripe and PayPal are the only ones we're truly considering. But yeah, we got a lot of work to do still. I have to go pee real quick though, so give me just a second. Yeah, I'm not sure, but Baishtar, like, yeah, I'm gonna have to like really think about that more. But yeah, let me go pee. BRB.
Give him an enema.
Oh, what was the sound effect? Was it ooh? Was it that one? That's a good one. All right. Still want to fix this. That's right. I keep getting sidetracked on that. I also still want to fix this. Do I need to like copy and paste it for all of them? Right, so Veet is able to do this just fine. It is certainly an issue, I think, with VS Code. Hold up. This is the way we test that. If we load the dashboard up directly, and then we go look at something like this, all right, let's make sure. I think it's a VS Code workspace problem. Nope. Nope. Definitely not. Okay, hold on. Maybe that's part of the issue? No, it is the slash star still. Let me get more music going. Oh, but that's gonna mess with our beat stuff, though. Oh, maybe that was something I needed. Well, I don't think it's a Veet issue. Like, our config there was working. Okay, so I think for Veet, we end up still needing that symbol. Alright, so failed to resolve import because we messed with this. Alright, so that builds again. Wait, now this breaks. Wait, what did we break there? Oh no. Oh, it's the path to here? Yeah, we would have to do dashboard slash. Yep. Right, because that's a shared component. We got to go rebuild it. Hey, and that worked. All right. And yeah, this is exceptionally slow because we're running it locally. That actually does help us, like, fiddle with and test some things. So now, I am giving up on trying to fix whatever is going on with this. It'll just be red. That's fine. Whatever. Here we go. Okay, so that's a new one, because that is a totally valid element. So that's got to be something to do with the version of our types. What's up, X Factor? How you doing? Yeah, there's definitely something up with what's going on there, too. Oh, wait. I wonder... I think we no longer need that, right? That doesn't fix those issues. But, yeah, we don't need that part anymore, which is good. Yeah, alright. I wish we could disable that for the entire project, right? The, like, not valid JSX error. And I wish we could disable that. Alright, let's try a fix with tab 9. Let's see what it does. Right? They just want to switch it back to the relative pathing. And I really don't want to do that. So we're going to ignore it. We do have a bunch of any. Yep, this is another one of those just issues. But now as we get back to pages, let's double check this. I don't know about a course, but Type Hero is a good way to practice. Oh, hold on. Matt Pocock might have a good course. I haven't used it, I don't know. But hold on. Total TypeScript. Right, if you work for a company, you might be able to get them to pay for it. Because it is kind of spendy. So yeah, if you work at a company, maybe try and get them to foot the bill, because it's a tax write-off for them. I think technically it would be a tax write-off for you as well, but I don't know. I'm not an accountant. This is not financial or legal advice. Yeah, I mean, Type Hero is free. Oh, wow, their site is not fast. Yeah, I'd say do Type Hero first, right? Because it's free. Yeah, does the exorcism for TypeScript actually deal with like types really well? Or is it more like focused on just like JavaScript, but TypeScript instead? Right? Is it more like programming, or is it more about like the type system? Yeah. I mean, we can go look at it real quick. Why not? Oh, not extism. Exorcism. Yeah, see, a lot of these are more like just like practice stuff. Yeah, so like linked list and binary search, like these are all basically just JavaScript problems that they made TypeScript. I think it focuses less on teaching the type system. But still great for practice. Yeah, no worries, Bystar. Like, I just wasn't sure. I think, you know, it's worth evaluating. But yeah, I think Type Hero, I would definitely recommend Type Hero. And yeah, do you know Trash Dev? Trash Dev is one of the main people behind Type Hero. So worth checking out. Right? Even just for the sake of supporting another streamer who doesn't stream anymore. Yeah, no worries. Yeah. We close some of these tabs we're not using. We're back to this. And yeah, so our next step then is... You like physical books to learn new languages? Yeah, I think that works. I definitely don't. Right, a physical book is out of date the moment it's printed. Like for technical things. Concepts are forever, but yeah, like to learn a new language? Language concepts are not even forever. Right? Syntax changes. Standard library changes. Sure. But if you were to go and like copy and paste snippets out of it, it's not relevant. Yeah, I like authors that update their books, right? Like automate the boring stuff with Python. I think is a fantastic book. And hey, what's up, Design Koalas? Hey, how you doing? Thank you for the raid. What were you up to? If I could type. And yeah, I don't even follow you yet. There we go. So yeah, what were you working on? And let's switch over to this scene. I need to like set it up on my stream deck. But yeah, welcome. Making laser fish fly around. Fish with frickin' lasers. Nice. Have anything you want to show us? Right, like a link or whatever? Cyclops, like from X-Men then, right? Okay. Freaking fish with freaking lasers attached to their heads. Exactly. Well, it's probably about like the fish with lasers fighting a giant shark without a laser, maybe? Oh, and I'm sorry, hold on. I asked you for a link and then, yeah. My bad. We just do that to prevent, like, spammers. Which you are not. All your stuff is on your Twitter? Ooh, good promotion. I like that. Yeah, let's switch back so we can look at it all together. And yeah, bam, nice and easy. No, we got you. No worries. Is that a sheep spider? Spider sheep, does whatever a spider sheep does. Oh, this looks cool. Oh, maybe not a sheep. This looks fun, man. Yeah, cool. Was this the game you were working on, though? Modular animals by swapping out parts? Okay. Oh, he's a dog thing. Okay. Yeah, I think the texture just threw me off, maybe. Okay, so you were working on this? Awesome. Yeah, do you have, like a page... Like, do you have this in early access or anything? Or is that the plan? Is there some place that I could wish list the game? Beast King, right? But yeah, cool stuff. I'm sure I'll see some call outs for when it can be wish listed on my Twitter feed now. So sounds good. For everyone joining from Design Koalas, still not even into alpha yet, just knocking it out slowly and surely. Oh yeah, no worries. what we are working on is a billing as a service. And oh man, we broke it. Oh, that's fine. That's older. Chimera Builder. Exactly. Yeah. So think of this as like, yes, for your game, maybe you want to allow people to purchase cosmetics, like a different skin or something, or I don't know, right? Or like a special hat. I don't know, man. Right? Maybe someone on a saddle, right? Like you can buy certain characters riding your Chimera, right? Like, I don't know. All sorts of things you could do cosmetically that don't affect the game, but are still kind of like fun, right? When you build out a system like that, you need to maintain the character or like the player's balance of whatever coins you might have, right? And this is basically to do that for you. So it's not necessarily like the Steam wallet. This is more like, you know, like if you've ever played an EA game, they have their like points and then their coins and then other stuff, right? And your way of getting any of that is totally going to be unique to the game, etc. But the idea is just we maintain the balance and you just send an API call to us. And we are responsible for maintaining that balance and sending it back to you when you need it, right? For a game with like a transactional thing like that, that is like an edge case, but think about like a bunch of the AI tools, right? A lot of like indie hacker AI projects are really just a wrapper around OpenAI, but they benefit from being usage-based or at least like credit-based so that, you know, like a noisy user isn't costing you too much money, right? So you can bill them with a little bit on top for basically like their usage of your system. So boom, right? Those are two like target markets. And then the third is, I don't know if you've ever used DigitalOcean, but DigitalOcean maintains the wallet system as well, and they do a balance. But theirs is usage-based, as in like whatever you have up and running, we are gonna like bill based upon like how long that has been up and running, right? Like your start and stop points for like the total that we should be billing if we were gonna bill at the entire month. Right? So that's the idea. You would send us basically a running total for like how much they should be charged if all this stuff is added together. And then we maintain like the reconciliation of looking at like the intervals when that total changes. So if someone spins up a new service on DigitalOcean, right? It's a new droplet. That's $5 a month, but you might have 10 droplets. And then maybe you kill one. You only want to pay for when those things were up. Right? When those things were used and created. So if you end up spinning something up for an hour and then tearing it down, we only want to bill you for that hour of that $5. So we maintain like the intervals and we do the billing reconciliation to deduct from the balance. So those are like the three big main use cases. The DigitalOcean thing is like, yeah, we could target like software as a service providers, but that's like really vague. But really, if someone wants to spin up their own hosting platform, something usage-based might make a lot of sense for them. So that is our project. With that project, the thing that we're building right now is we actually had a lot of this created 2 years ago. And then I pivoted to other things for reasons I can barely even remember. And yeah, we're pivoting back to it now, but that means that I have to update stuff. Ooh, sassy. There you go. Sasslytics. There you go. Take that one and run with it, Prevan, if you're still out there. But no, we're going to stick with Waltr because it's more like Walleter, right? It's like a wallet as a service. Ooh, we could have named it Banksy. That totally doesn't have any implications beyond that, right? But yeah, no worries, X Factor. Have a good one. So yeah, we're in the middle of updating this, and it used to look so much worse just yesterday. We've got a couple like styling things to keep fixing, and some of these components like don't render right anymore. So yeah, that's the part that we're on. So yeah, for this settings page, I want to go look at this toggle. Oh, and we might not have that wired up properly. Some of our change events are broken. Alright, so yeah, we got work to do. I believe we actually have a component for that toggle, but maybe not. Nope. Yeah, we just built it into the page. Oh, and we got something I want to do there, too. We want to make sure that's positioned down at the bottom. Yeah, so we still got work to do. Let's look at that toggle. And billing type selector is a component way down here. Oh, so I think we ended up doing it this way. right? So this is our switch. We did like an ad hoc switch. When realistically, we might want to turn it into this. I don't know, like, it's a mixture of self-taught and a 2-year community college degree. But I would say most of what I learned coding-wise is, like, self-taught. I think most people are that way anyway. Yeah, backend's already built. Backend is built with a thing called Architect. So every endpoint in the backend is its own Lambda function. Architect wraps AWS and only AWS in a really nice way to where they scaffold out and manage the SAM, or like the application, like of all these Lambdas together. They also set up SQS and scheduled jobs and all sorts of stuff. So yeah, Architect is really quite nice. I did have to do a lot of like extra stuff on top of it though, such as my own ORM for single table data design for Dynamo, such as like middleware for my endpoints. Yeah, like, so Architect spins up the API gateway too, for sure. Yeah, it's quite nice. It spins up the tables, it spins up like all that stuff. If we look at the ARC file, right, this is the AWS specific parts of it, but like here's another thing Architect kind of does, or like it does its own like ARC file. You could also do YAML or JSON, but they didn't have that back when I was doing this. And it was also just like for the tables, right? We have core and our TTL table, right? Time to live stuff. We've also got some of these like indexes that we need to create for it. Right, but like all this stuff, I have my own like wrapper around it that's gonna like glue all this together into one ARC file, which is how Architect needs to work basically. So yeah, I have a lot of like just a lot of stuff I built up around Architect, which is why I am not keen to switch providers to like Cloudflare or something and use something like SST, because I'd still end up having to build most of what I'm already doing here, right? Like I'd have to rebuild it for SST or some other abstraction. So for the time being, nah, it's just an AWS thing. But I would love to build my own like extra stuff around something like SST. For Architect? they have some pretty decent docs. But, like, the stuff that I do on top of it, I just had to build myself, so, like, I don't know. I've done, like, manual AWS Lambda stuff. So, yeah, the person that asked, like, how I learned development, like, I'm not afraid of trying stuff out. Like, you know, like, that's the best thing you can do as a programmer. Just be okay with failure. You know what's worse than failure? Not even trying. I've been pretty, like, into the idea of serverless for a long time. Right? Like, I've even tried serverless.com, like that framework. And I felt it was lacking quite a bit. By trying to solve, like, every cloud problem, they actually do a bad job of solving, like, one cloud's problems. So yeah, something like purely AWS focused can focus on doing it like just the AWS way, which frees them up to do all sorts of other cool stuff. Yeah. No. One of the most, like, fundamental things I consider as, like, if I were to write a book, I would have an entire chapter on not invented here syndrome. Right? You need a very, very good reason to do it yourself. For the most part. Because not invented here syndrome creates, like, a major problem for maintainability. Right? Not invented here syndrome massively increases your lottery factor. And you may know the lottery factor as the bus factor, but lottery factor is a little more, like, upbeat. But the idea is simply, like, if the person who built all that stuff at your company wins the lottery and they don't work there anymore, who's going to maintain it? Where's the documentation, etc.? So something that is a library, a third-party dependency that at least has docs, is better than some internal contrived solution that doesn't have docs, right? Or is poorly documented. Right? I love proudly found elsewhere. Absolutely, comrade, for sure. Yes, use other things, because you'll find that as you're using these, you find other stuff that you can build yourself that no one's actually building yet. Or you can build it in a way that is better than the existing solutions. But do you think you're going to write a better React? You think you're going to write a better Node.js? Right? Someone could. I know I definitely couldn't. So I'm not even going to waste my effort on it. Take it easy, Kyle. I think it misses the point. Making a better React. No, I would never do that. Depends on what you're building. Without any context, it's a meaningless question. Tell me what we're building there, rules, and I'll tell you what I'll probably reach for first. What's up, Lake? You didn't necessarily need to get that specific. You're talking about a web application, right? I would probably pick Node.js for velocity. Prove out the idea first, and then when you hit a performance bottleneck, fix it. If I'm building a CLI tool, I'm going to reach for Golang. The libraries and tools built for Golang for CLI stuff are awesome. The cross-compatibility story is awesome. Right? Like the building for every platform from one machine is awesome. There are certain things where I will reach for certain things, right? If I'm going to be doing serverless stuff, currently the best frameworks I know of are JS-based. There isn't a good Rust serverless framework out there yet, so I'm not going to use it. If I'm going to be doing some WASM, I'm going to write it in Rust. If I need to deal with money, I'll probably use Rust. In fact, that's one of our goals. We're going to refactor our billing reconciliation script to Rust instead of JavaScript, because then we can get real numbers rather than everything being floating point. So yeah, those X versus Y questions, even though you're totally breaking our... We only have like 2 rules here in chat. You had to agree to them before you could chat. I'll just point out, X versus Y questions are garbage without context. If I'm building a REST API, especially for my own projects, right, where I'm having to foot the bill for hosting, I'm going to use serverless so it can scale to 0. If I'm doing it on company money, and I can pick anything I want for a REST API, I'll probably pick Elixir. Maybe Gleam. I haven't done any Gleam yet, but I quite like Elixir. In fact, the chat overlay below, that's built with Elixir. Not like the visual part, but the backend. Now, technically, if I'm building for a company, now I need to pick a language that other people know, and then it's probably not Elixir. I know, I have been entertaining these questions a little bit. I think the big thing is forcing them to give a context. When someone doesn't provide a context, then they're trolling, and we can just ignore them. Maybe, Lake. No, I know. We listen to that song here all the time, right? Losing My Edge by LCD Sound System. I really like that song. I think it might be their best one, but it's like... It's their best one from, like, a writing perspective. Like, it almost tells, like, a story about, like, the pretentious individual. Right? Like, the... You know, so I have every seminal electronic album on vinyl. Blah, blah, blah. Like, just the person he's playing within the song, like, is really good. Yeah, no worries, comrade. Have a good one. So here's something important to recognize about Cognito. Cognito is the only thing you can use if you don't want to pay for authentication requests, right? So Cognito, wired up to API Gateway, will no longer like charge you for a spammer who is endlessly hitting your login endpoint. Cognito's the only thing AWS will allow that lets you opt out of that like billing cost of a potentially bad actor. Now, the WAF, Web Application Firewall, can help you for some of the other things, but that is also not as easy to configure, and Architect doesn't do that for me. So that's a bit annoying. Let me get more music going. So yeah, I'd say if you haven't used any of those like auth provider as a service kind of things before, Cognito's a good one to get started with. The amount of like power you have for configuring it is pretty low though. Like you can do some stuff, and I've had to do it before. Auth0 is a better experience if you need like heavy customization for the visuals of it. I believe you can tie into Cognito from like an API perspective as well, but that was just something we didn't end up doing for a while at a previous job. Yeah, that is tougher, like, yeah, client issues, you know, that's just, yeah, that stuff's tougher. It's easier to budget for sure, like, right? And often a fixed bill is better than what it could blow up to. Like a lot of clients don't care about scale to zero. Are you using Cloudflare for like all CDN stuff? I would try and do a trace route and see how many steps you're taking. Right? Like, are you hitting CloudFront and Cloudflare within like the request chain? If so, that's not ideal. If you're using CloudFront for some assets and Cloudflare for other caching, like, yeah, that's fine. But yeah, I don't think double proxying to CloudFront and Cloudflare is the right move unless you have a very specific reason for doing so. But yeah, so I'm thinking we switch this. The reason I don't necessarily want to do their switch is because we're not dealing with like an on-off state, right? We're dealing with like a this or that state, and it's more like a visual, like just a button. Oh, interesting, Lake. That should have worked. Nightbot's asleep on the job. But yeah, how you doing, Monica? What you up to? Oh, interesting. I don't think I've seen that as an issue before, but yeah, you're probably right. Maybe, like, yeah, good guess. And I know I've seen you over there. Has Has Star Ansible, like, gotten back into streaming regularly? Or was, like, is he just doing, like, random ad hoc stuff? Not that you know of? Gotcha. Yeah, I think he did, like, once within the past, like, month or so. But yeah, like, not regularly, which is interesting. I really liked the product he was making. You did a mass purge? Gotcha. That happens. Ooh, you still got your following since 2019 here, though. Appreciate it. Thank you, man. So, Monica, basically, think about it this way. This is a wallet for your application. This is a B2B thing. This is not a consumer-focused thing. So, if you are making, let's say, a game in which someone can purchase cosmetics, we will maintain the balance of coins or whatever for you. Right? So very similarly, if you're an indie hacker and you're making an AI tool, you want to charge people credits because you're paying credits to OpenAI, right? Like if you're just making a wrapper around OpenAI for some specific case. So instead, yeah, as an indie hacker, anytime you're spending building out like the balance system and possibly emailing people when their balance is low and like all sorts of other stuff is outside like you working on your actual application, right? Which is why things like auth, like software as a service works too. No. So I think you're missing the point there, Yoda. Yes, and maybe I'm phrasing it wrong in the way it's described. But the idea is, if you're doing microtransactions, you don't want to bill someone $1 for that one cosmetic that they purchased, right? You would rather have them spend $20 and, you know, maybe give them extra coins or credits or whatever, and then you just deduct from that as they purchase from your cosmetic store or something, right? For like a game. And in that case, the transaction fees would be 25 cents for that $20 you did, plus the 2.5% or whatever. I forget the exact numbers, right? But that 25 cents is a much smaller percentage of like what you billed someone for at transaction time. So if you're charging someone $1, that 25 cents is 25% of your revenue. And that is untenable, right? Like, that's way too much. Like, you're not even going to make profit in some cases, right? Theoretically. So instead, if you can get someone to buy $20 worth of your coins or internal currency for your application, then you just deduct from that as they make purchases or as they do, like, usage-based stuff. So if you've ever used DigitalOcean, I'm basically recreating the DigitalOcean wallet or balance or whatever they call it as a service. So that means we also handle like usage-based bills, where you spin up a droplet and then you delete it. Even though it's a $5 a month droplet, you're only billed for the hours or days that you had it running. And then you amortize that cost, etc., right? So yeah, customers are basically purchasing credits, and we maintain that credit system. And what up, Tej Coder? How you doing? Virtual currency as a service is probably a better way of phrasing it, yeah. But the main goal is to do like the DigitalOcean system, right? I want to specifically recreate exactly what DigitalOcean is doing as a service, because it's the best like billing experience I've ever had, right? Rather than it just being some like subscription that's always running. And, you know, also like, if you've ever used Linode or whatever, it's going to cost you $5 no matter how long you had that Linode going, right? It's just, yeah, they're going to bill you for the month and whatever. Like, that's how Linode used to work, at least. How do you receive the money from the customer's credits? So, hold on. What do you mean by that, Monica? So basically, you would use Stripe or whatever. Like, I'm not going to do the payment provider part. So you would use Stripe within your application and just send me an API request crediting that user's balance with however many credits you want. Which means you can also just gift credits to people, right? It makes that system a lot easier. Right? How do I make money as a business? I'm actually just going to look at your aggregate usage and bill you for the amount of money going in and out, right? So I'm basically gonna adopt the what was it? Chargebee, right? So yeah, if we Recurly, I think might also do it. For my platform, we're gonna be doing, I believe it's the Chargebee billing model. So we're gonna bill our users, like the users of Waltr, based upon their revenue, and it'll be free up to 100K per year or something, right? Like, I don't know if they have like a proper free tier. Here it is. Yeah. So there it is. Free for the first 250K of cumulative billing for the year. And then we increase the price as like the customer grows. Yeah, exactly. Like, the money is paid at the first time. So what about people who try to game this system? What I'm wondering is, like, what do you mean by game this system? Is there a loophole that you can think of specifically? I'd love to know that. So here's the big thing. Our main goal is to not leave it as the currency that they paid with, because they could be paying for multiple currencies, and you're not going to be able to extract the money out later. You can't, like, extract the balance. So maybe that's something that Racecrafted is talking about. This isn't a marketplace. You can't transfer funds from user to user, right? So there's no, like money laundering aspect to that, and a user can't extract their balance out of it later, right? So once a purchase is made, you've got the 15 days that, like, EU law requires, etc., and they could refund it after the 15 days, at which point the balance goes negative. And then you simply just refuse any other stuff for it, right? So as a business, you would set how much they're able to go negative, right? Before you just stop serving. So if they make a $20 purchase and 15 days go by, or 14 days go by and they refund it, well, yeah, maybe your threshold for, like, how much they could go negative from usage goes to, like, you would set it at negative $5. Anything below that, you would stop honoring their transaction requests or whatever. Maybe you could set it to 0, like, totally up to you. But the idea is, like, you as your own business would decide how much you're willing to let people overbill. And that would also be related to how much someone does, like, a top up and then refund through their credit card or whatever, right? So honoring refunds is a very important aspect of this. But we need to, like, be conscious of how that could be gained. Yeah, negative balance would be optional, but it's something that would happen no matter what due to the refund situation, right? So negative balance is more like it's optional only if you're willing to let them go negative, right? But, like, it's still going to be possible to go negative from, like, a refund, which you have to honor due to EU law. Like, 15 days is all you get. But 15 days is still enough time for someone to decide, well, yeah, they want to refund that $20. Sure, got to allow it. But their balance would go negative. But you get to decide at what point you start like, refusing service for that person. Right? Or for users in general. Does that make sense? So they're crafted based upon that description. Is there a way you can think of gaming this? What do you mean by that, web developer? So no, think about it this way. Every single purchase, right? Like, let's think about it this way. What type of business are you talking about? Are you talking about usage-based billing, like DigitalOcean? Or are you trying to talk about it from like the game perspective, right? Where someone's just buying cosmetics on a purely like transactional basis. So you're talking about the DigitalOcean aspect. I'm just a credit API. We may allow people to like wire up their Stripe so that we handle the webhooks for them. I'm not 100% on how we want to do that yet. But so, web developer, the DigitalOcean aspect. The way it works is you, as the application dev, as like the fake DigitalOcean, right? Let's call it the analog desert, right? You as analog desert will simply send me a request saying the user has increased their rate from 0 to, let's say, $5 a month, right? And we could decide on how we want to do the, like, whether it's a weekly, a daily, or a monthly thing. I forget how we configure that. Again, this is a 2-year-old project that we're reviving. But let's just operate on, like, the monthly model. You, as the application, would simply send me one request that is, this user has gone up to a $5 per month total, right? And we will simply look at until the next time that changes. And if it doesn't change, well then yes, you've been at $5 a month from when it started to when it ends. Right? And we're doing our reconciliation daily. So their balance goes down daily. So when it starts getting low, then we can send messages. So, Lake, sure, if we're talking about the DigitalOcean aspect of it, right? Let's try and maintain the same like story. That way, I'm still explaining it right. You would have to do your own billing reconciliation. So, Lake, if you're trying to talk about the game perspective of just credits, we'll talk about that later. Right now, we're talking about the DigitalOcean competitor. The DigitalOcean competitor is simply like we are deducting from your balance daily. As you change that usage, the amount we bill for that day as that portion of the interval, which is the month, changes. So let's say you spin something up and, you know, it's from 0 to $5. But you kill it 2 hours later. Well, when that is killed and you're no longer like running that thing for that user, you send me that event of their rate went to 0. So then I do that effort of that interval of 2 hours at $5 gets amortized over the entire month, right? Or not amortized, but like evaluated or reconciled over what their monthly rate would have been, but only for those 2 hours. So we do that like that math. So as far as, you know, running that is a lot of effort that introduces a lot of like room for error. And I think the usage-based thing is really the core reason I started building Waltr. When we talk about like a game doing the balance system, that is maybe just like a thing that we can solve anyway because we're maintaining balances for the usage-based system anyway. So yes, you could operate that yourself, Lake, if we go back to the idea of the game balance, right? And the cosmetics and things like that. You could totally do that yourself. But that is work that you're doing, and you're writing the database queries for it. You're making sure that it's not exploitable and all that stuff. You're having to do that yourself in a way that, you know, you are responsible for. And that is a thing that isn't part of your core game. So anytime you're spending on these types of systems, right? Like anytime you're spending on that kind of system instead of just building out features for your game is wasted time, right? Like you're not actually doing something for your users at that point. You're doing something for your business. And business process development is expensive and yeah, like you're not improving your application during that time. If you're a solo dev, anytime you're doing that, you're not spending on creating value in the game itself. And that's why things like Lake, look at it this way. Why wouldn't you just do your own auth, right? You could just build out OAuth yourself. Why would you use something like Auth0? Because anytime you're spending building out OAuth and making sure those systems work and are bug-free, is time that you're not spending on building out your product. And that's why software as a service exists in general. Because you want to spend as much time as possible building out the thing that makes your product, not these tangential systems that exist outside of it. Yeah, that's like the entire purpose of software as a service, in my opinion. So that's part of it, though, Coder, right? Like, we would have an SLA that you're opting into, right? So when you purchase our service, especially if you go to the enterprise level, we have a service level agreement that guarantees that we are operating at, like, you know, the X amount of, like, nines that you might care about. And that then means that, you know, we owe you money based upon not delivering on that SLA. And that's another thing that a lot of companies purchase software as a service for, because they get a service level agreement that guarantees this thing's going to work so that they aren't on the hook for making sure it's always working. Yeah, exactly, Yoda code. Yep, yeah, putting more effort into the side service than like the app itself, for sure. And that's a common thing. Like, yeah, we can build it ourselves. Well, yeah, that's just another thing you got to maintain. So any company, like a bunch of companies, like could totally build out their own internal feature flagging system. You could totally do it. But anytime you're spending doing that and maintaining it and making sure it's always running, like at like an SLA level that you would care about, the amount of nines for uptime, is time that you are having to pay someone to do. And it's time that you're paying for that's not delivering like the actual thing you wanted to build. So yeah, we just had it up a little bit ago, right? Not invented here syndrome. There are plenty of times where you'll be like, yeah, I'm going to build this myself, but you should question that every single time. If there is an existing thing that does it, why are you building that yourself? Oh, and yeah, the followage system doesn't work anymore for Nightbot. I need to delete that command. So yeah, I operate on the idea of non-invented here syndrome being, I think, one of the biggest flaws businesses make, right? One of the biggest mistakes a business makes in general. If you're an indie hacker or a solo dev or just doing it as a hobby, hell yeah, go out and build it yourself. But if you're a business, anything you build is something you have to maintain. I'm good there, full stack. Like, what API would you hit to get that data? Nightbot doesn't have that information anymore. You can click your name and find out. Hold on, let's look at the error. Please use decapi or some other thing. Oh, I guess there's a new followage command. Hold on. Yeah, Nightbot even like gives us a link. Garrett Sharp. Yeah, I don't know. I'm good on it for now. Honestly, Twitch offers all of this information already, right? If you just click your name, you totally get it. If you want us to ask for you, like, I can look and tell you. I'm fine with it. I'm good. It's fine. It's not a big deal, right? January 11th, 2023. So, 2Tap, what he's saying is he's on mobile, and maybe mobile doesn't have that feature. Yeah, I'd rather just answer the question for someone at this point. I'm not worried about it. Yeah, Nori's there, 2-Tap Prince. Yeah, how you doing? And yeah, I've heard a lot of like complaints about the new Twitch mobile layout. Yeah. Yeah, that sucks. I don't use it, so I don't know, but yeah. I've heard a lot of complaints. Oh, this album's good. It's like crunchier than some of the other stuff. Yeah, this one's really good. Web developer, they're talking about the followage command. Right, which is just less useful. I just need to delete the command. Or change the command to be like, we'll have a mod look it up for you right now. Or something. Boom, nailed it. So yeah, hold on. Did I answer your question properly? And yeah, how you doing, Robotic Head? So syncing across services is an effort. Your implementation and our third-party service from your app aspect, like when the API didn't work. So did I answer that question properly, right? Like, that's what an SLA is for. I think you as a dev, you would just simply disable the store if our API is unavailable, if you can't fetch a balance, etc. And yeah, Rules and J-Nuts, thank you for the follows. Appreciate you. But yeah, Cody Coder, do you have any like follow-ups to that question, I guess? Oh yeah, how we encapsulate is important. If it's a full thing you can ignore, that's great. If it's highly coupled, that would be more of a pain. Got it. So yeah, I wasn't sure that was actually like a continuation of the same thought. But the idea is we have an SDK, you make a call to our API with that SDK. So like you would fetch the balance. You would send us the request to deduct from it, right? When a purchase is made from your store. As far as I know, I don't know of any other service that's doing this exactly the way we would want. So I'm not sure like some larger abstraction around that would make sense. And our SDKs are maybe not ideal because they're just built with OpenAPI generator. I need to do more effort on consuming the product, right? Once we get everything updated to like the latest versions of React and Mantine and all that stuff, from there, I'm gonna have to put in a bunch of effort to like use it in my own applications, right? I have other apps that would totally make sense as like a usage-based billing. Like when someone subscribes or raids with more than 10 people, we have a bot read out like a totally made up like sport and thing that they do. And we have other prompts too. That is a call to OpenAI, as well as a voice provider like DeepGram. That would be really good as a like transactional usage-based thing. Like it wouldn't be the like usage as in like DigitalOcean. It would be more like just deducting as things happen. So that's what I'm getting at. That's the thing that we're building right now. Yeah, so we have this dashboard in which you would configure things. You would also be able to look at your accounts. It's running slow because we're basically running our, we're running architect.codes. And yeah, we haven't updated any of this page yet. So yeah, this should be inside a menu. We got to fix that. But yeah, you could look at all billing for all accounts, and then yeah, getting into like a per account like look would make sense. But this is me logged in as like a business user for this. So yeah, like a dashboard / report would be a great idea. Right now we don't have it on like a per account like basis, but we do have some like dashboard stuff for you, like how many accounts are made, right? Transaction stats, you know, like within the last 6 months. Like, sure, is it perfect? No, not even close. But I think it's still kind of cool. And I do think a user-specific dashboard / report would be worthwhile. Like being able to drill down and understand just one account within your platform, for sure. So yeah, I think those are great suggestions and something that we definitely want to do. But we got to finish updating this thing first, right? I wonder, do I have that anywhere? That would be a decent command. No, we don't. Yeah, at least as far as like the abstraction is concerned, we only really care about their like total billing rate. But you could theoretically send metadata with the way we have the API set up. But yeah, like, that is good feedback. Definitely something we want to work on. Right, we can see the user and their... Oh, hold on. Here's user-based statistics, right? Here's their balance, 69 coins. Heyo. We see one transaction they did, which was adding the 69 coins or whatever, which is all just randomly generated data. But we've definitely got some bugs with how this is reported. And this might even be like fully random. Yeah, I'm not 100% sure why this is only that 69. Like, yeah, we got to dig into that, but we haven't gotten into that part yet. But yeah, like transaction details would be useful too. Yeah, so the metadata or whatever is actually like a very loose. I think it's just a text field. I'd have to look into that. Right? Let's say for a game, right? The deduction from their balance, the meta would just be like purchased blank, right? Like purchased a saddle or something, right? That metadata is something that you would have to just send us as like a string. Is that a bad user experience or like dev experience at that point? Because you would still have to track like the cosmetics someone has purchased within your system, right? So for me, like, I think just tracking like the line item, like basically like an invoice, is enough, right? I don't think you needing to like see someone's entire inventory in our platform is worthwhile. Yeah, I don't think setting up products within Waltr is a good idea, right? I think that would be far too coupled. Whereas instead, just like some metadata on the line item is enough. They do have totally different wants, but I do think they still have value in like the line items up. And I know I'm jumping between these examples quite a bit, but what we're trying to do is find like the common case between them. And yeah, I think there's definitely just some like stuff missing here. I could have sworn there was like an info button where you could see the metadata and like why it was added or deducted. Like, basically, this 69 coins is a gift. Maybe from, like, the mod team or whatever, right? Yeah, I understand that. I still think that's like still like metadata that you're sending me. Like you're still gonna have to maintain what they have, right? Like we don't want to take over like your inventory management for what someone could purchase. Nah, like I think you're still missing it though. Like you would be sending us like especially for like an overtime billing, you would just send us like the inventory of what they have, right? When that interval changes. So if I add another droplet, right? The metadata you're sending me is 2 droplets at the time of that, like the total changing, right? That's what I'm getting at, Cody. All you're doing is sending me the moment it changes, all that was in that change. So I'm not sure if you were here for the exact example I gave, but if I am at 0 because I don't have any services running and I spin up a droplet, that is a $5 a month droplet, you just send me that one request of their billing context changed, right? And then when they kill that droplet, you just send me their monthly rate back down to 0 with the metadata of what you're billing them for, which is nothing now, right? All services killed. And I am doing like the amortization or pro rata or whatever, right? Of that usage over the time versus like the monthly rate. So you're sending me like the total monthly rate as things change, but you're not sending me like something on like an interval, right? You're not doing any of that like interval based stuff. You're just telling me when things change. I think you're getting way too deep into that part still. Like, yes, that is something I need to improve, like your ability to see what someone's inventory is. But really, like, their inventory of what they have, that's kind of your application's problem. Because you're going to have to show that within your own dashboard. Right? Within your own, like, where they log in and see what they're paying for. I don't think that's the value that this would give you. Right? I don't think there's any value in us duplicating that from what you're going to have to show to someone. All we're doing is making sure that the calculation of what they owe you is correct, right? What we deduct from their balance is correct, right? You're going to have your own dashboard. That's all there is to it. You're going to have your own inventory of that in that dashboard. For this, you just want to see what they were billed, when they were billed it, when they made a payment, some of those things. And you can maybe like fetch some of that and post it into your dashboard. But this is purely about just the balance system. This isn't about what your inventory is. Yes. So that's what I'm getting at. We maintain the transaction history of all these things, for sure. But you still need to maintain what goes into the changes to that history. You still need to maintain like your inventory that they're using that dictates the change history. Right? So this is basically just a ledger. We maintain the ledger for you. You still have to maintain what they're using that changed that ledger. Is this better or worse than what you were envisioning? To me, I find that is less coupled because we don't care about what your inventory is. We just care about like the exact like ledger of credits and debits. Right? We don't care about like you don't need to then have that in your accounting or whatever. You probably still would track that in some way though. But we don't need to know or care about like what exact product you added. We just need to care what is their monthly rate at any given time. And I think these are great questions. Like, no one has asked like this in depth of a question about how the system works, so I appreciate it. Like, thank you. To me, I think that's why I think the usage-based and the transactional-based approach are actually, because of where I'm setting the limit of what I care about, it actually makes them like mesh up better. If I cared about like inventory and like exactly what went into a billing change, then they would diverge far more. But instead, I can focus on like the one place where they do overlap, and that's the ledger. So yes, I think we're saying the same thing. You would still probably track those like when someone added something, right? Just for like within your system, within your dashboard. You'd probably still want that data local. But how much they got billed for an interval, when it did change, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. I don't think it's highly coupled. But I don't know. Maybe we're just not understanding what each other is saying properly. Could be on my end more than your end. You would still maintain the exact thing someone did. You could send that to me, sure. But this is all about like the ledger of it. Your current versus history, you're still going to keep that history. But what their balance is, like when it was added to from maybe like an admin adding credits to someone's account, like that is something you're not tracking. That's not on you. When someone makes a purchase through your system that adds to their balance, we track that for you. And then you just care about what their current balance is. So I think that's maybe the difference, right? So two places that might not match. I understand that, but like, when would that be the case? The only time that would be the case is if you didn't handle a failure from our API properly, right? And our SDK should do retries, etc. Sure. I think no matter what, there are sources of truth for different parts of this. Your source of truth would be for the inventory. Our source of truth would be for the balance, and they are different things. Right? Balance is the money. Inventory is what they have. Hey, I know him. Hell yeah. Exactly, right? That's something I think would be useful too. But if a dev doesn't do that right, then it's a problem. It's hard to like do too much for the user because then you take the power out of their hands. So yeah, you know, make something idiot-proof, the universe will make a better idiot, right? That is why I think I want to handle the webhook aspect of Stripe as well. So I think that's another thing that we can make easier, right? Like, how many game devs want to spin up a Stripe webhook? How many game devs are capable of spinning up a Stripe webhook? How many, you know, AI or OpenAI wrapper tools want to waste time spinning up another Stripe webhook? And realistically, if we're handling that part, then we're good to go. Like, I don't know. Yeah, there's definitely some edge cases to that aspect of it. For the most part, as an AWS Lambda service, when is Lambda going to be down? You know? Like, if Lambda goes down, we've got bigger problems. But it is possible, right? And yeah, thinking about some of those edge cases would be important. Yeah, I do need to think about that more. Right? That's a great point there, Lake, and Cody as well. Thank you. You're totally right. Like, we need to think about these things.
Sport of fusion hockey, a thrilling mix of traditional ice hockey and laser tag. Their greatest play, famously known as the Photon Strike, occurred during the Global Fusion Finals. They scored a game-winning goal by simultaneously deactivating 3 opponents with a precision laser shot before executing a stunning double spin to slip the puck into the net. This play not only won them the match, but also revolutionized defensive strategies in the sport. Beyond that, XFAKE is celebrated for leading their team to 3 consecutive championship titles and setting a league record for most points in a season.
And I understand that, Cody, right? That's what SLAs are for, etc., right? As a free tier user, maybe you don't get an SLA, but the moment you're paying us, that's where it happens. Sure. I don't know. Yeah, a lot of this is something to consider. That's why I think this project would absolutely need VC funding, because we would need to pay the lawyers and have enough of like a war chest to support issues, right? And paying out for SLA failures and all that, liability in general. I think other projects I have don't need VC funding, but this is one of the ones that I think would benefit the most. And yeah, stuff does happen, but that is also just kind of the cost of doing business. Very, very valid concerns, though. So, like, thank you, Cody. I appreciate that. And I don't have all the answers yet. I'm willing to admit that. I don't know, Cody. I'm not sure. Right? They at least had to pay out money for their lawyers that are on retainer to make sure that they didn't have to do anything about it. So it cost them something at some point in that chain. And it depends on if they had an SLA in place, all right? Like, all sorts of things to consider. I don't know the exact stuff for that. And again, I'm not trying to say I'm the expert, but I do think what we're building here is at least useful. It could solve some problems. But yeah, there's more work. As with any startup, I need to be open to, like, pivoting if I have to. Maybe splitting out the usage-based and the, you know, the transactional into separate products. Right? Like, maybe that's the move. Maybe we spin them out as totally separate things with totally separate marketing, etc. Right? And then, for the transactional approach, well, yeah, maybe we go more, like, inventory-focused. Or vice versa. I don't know. It's stuff to consider, though. Yeah, just for marketing, yeah, might make sense. These are all things that I would truly try and, like, push off as late as possible, though, and just get a good MVP like up and running by having them combined. And then if we need to split them, that's something down the line. That's something that I would hopefully go through some, like, accelerator, like Y Combinator for, and really discuss with people that know better. Such as yourself. Like, I don't know if you've done any Y Combinator or, you know, anything like that, but yeah. So here's something I find actually pretty compelling. I still think game-specific, like game engine integrations are actually applicable to usage and transactional, right? Like, think about this. Pretty much every other usage-based provider I've looked at is like invoicing-based, whereas we are prepaid. The prepaid aspect lends itself to gaming, and just because we haven't seen games do a usage-based billing thing yet, doesn't mean it's not possible. I just think it means there hasn't been a compelling enough service for them to use that does this for them. So if you're in a game like, I've been playing PAX Day recently, if you want to like spin up a short-term like extra house, you could do that, right? Like, I think there's actually way more leeway for games to adopt a usage-based billing model. I think that's actually a thing that hasn't been done. It would be diabolical. It would also help you optimize it. Like, hey, you're subscribed to World of Warcraft, but you only play 4 times a week. We can bill you based upon the hours you're playing instead. So, like, you're not paying $15 a month. You're paying $4. And then the people that are playing every single day, well, yeah, you bill them more accordingly. I think it's actually like more user-centric if you do the usage-based billing to cater to the weekend warrior. Now, is that the right move economically for a game? No, because then it would mean someone is weighing how much it's going to cost them per day, right? And then maybe they just don't play because they don't want to pay that day. I still think that is more like, that is more user focused than it is business focused. But maybe at some point, games that care about the user more end up winning. I don't know. I think that would be totally valuable. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not saying it's the right way. I do think you're totally right that by segmenting the two businesses, we'd be able to like focus on user personas, but we can also do that with landing pages. It really does depend game changer, right? I think it totally depends. I think it respects the user more though, right? Rather than a monthly fee. Now, if it reduces usage maybe, that's a bummer, but the user is more stoked on it. Yeah, right? I'm not saying it works for every game, but I think certain games it would make a lot of sense. For sure, Cody. Yeah. I know someone who runs basically a game server, like, hosting platform. They would totally benefit from someone who spins up the game server and then spins it down just for the weekend or something, right? Yeah, I don't know, Lake. Again, I'm not the expert. I'm thinking about this as we chat about it. I do really think that we could target all of these different, like, user personas still, or, like, at least, like, business personas within the same platform. But that's where I would really, like, lean on an accelerator of some kind with experienced entrepreneurs, which you might be, Cody. I'm not saying you're not that. I'm just saying, like, I would need to, like, definitely treat other people as the expert for what is the right way to do this as a business. And it may end up truly being the split it out. I know, that's not ideal, but it's possible. And at the end of the day, like, you know, I wouldn't want it to be pay to win. But that's up to the game, right? Like, I can't As a business doing this part of things, I can't dictate how they do it. If someone wants to get scummy with it, that's on them. Yeah. And in that game, Lake, it would be mana, right? You're deducting from your mana balance. $20 to re-up your mana balance. League of Legends would make a killing. Oh, buddy. But yeah, I don't know. Again, I would never do that as a game dev, but we can't dictate what game devs do with our platform.
Mechanical, auto-independent, artificially.
Right? That would be bad business. There's going to be someone who tries it. Right? Yeah. Zip code checker API? I believe the US Postal Service has that API. So you're competing against the US Postal Service. And I think they do it for free. Now, if you're in other countries, well then, yeah, have at it, right? Sure, yeah, build out basically what the USPS has that's subsidized against their profit, etc., because they are a profit-making business that basically, I don't think takes any money from the government, or not much money from the government, right? Like, the USPS isn't subsidized, as far as I know. Yeah, there are totally, like, pay-to-win games out there, for sure. We can't dictate what people use our product for. But yeah, like, web developer, I really do think you could go about building that out for other countries that maybe aren't supported by USPS, and you might have a legitimate product there. Address validation API is actually not a bad business if you can do it right. I just don't think it would work in every country. Sure, man. Honestly, a UK address validator would be pretty good. I don't know if you know, addresses in the UK can be like 8 lines long. Right? Like the neighborhood they're in is sometimes part of the address. Like it gets really gnarly. I've had to work on a product where we had to have a dynamic form based upon country for a lot of this stuff, and it was gnarly. Right, this was for a commercial real estate company for their European customers. Like a giant commercial real estate company where I can't say the name.
Loading statistics.
But yeah, we had to build out a major, like, dynamic form in Angular. It was totally, like, doable because, like, the Angular form libraries are quite good, actually. Like, so much so that you don't really need a third party. Like, the Angular, I forget what they called it. There was like there's template-driven reactive forms. I forget which one was it. I think it was the reactive forms API, right? Yeah, reactive forms are like more strictly typed. Doing dynamic forms with reactive forms is tougher, but they are like, you know, it's its own like giant like structure and it's easier to handle. But it was a little tough. It's not just that. Reactive forms operates in a similar way to like React hook form. Right? Like you define the schema. And that schema can still have dynamic segments, but you're better off trying to break it out. For sure, Yoda. That's a great idea too. Yeah. Yep, I totally agree. Hold on, let me message the gaming crew. Robotic Head, you're joining us tonight, right? Yeah, they did a major overhaul of their docks. This is way nicer than I remember it being. Like, this is actually a really nice guide. Yeah, this is actually really nice. This is way better than I remember it being. I think it's a lot of the same content, but yeah, the layout and styling and a lot of that stuff. Yeah, it's pretty. I like it. Ooh, yeah, no, I like it. Yeah, this is good. The Angular docks have gotten way better. But yeah, honestly, thank you, Yoda. Thank you, Cody. Thank you, Lake, and every single other person, like, chiming in with... I'm not saying you guys are naysaying. I think the way to think about it is, like, you're just helping me understand where, like, the fuzzy edges of this thing are, and how I can more, like, rigidly define them, where, like, the benefits, and maybe where it's not as useful. So, yes, I agree that there may be a bit of coupling, and we want to address that at some point. But the task that we're on right now isn't even, like, fixing that part. Oh, it was helpful. Like, yeah, this discussion is great. I haven't really, like, chatted about this or tried to, like, do the elevator pitch for it for 2 years. The fact that I'm, like, jumping back into it and I still kind of, like, got the idea means that it's really, like, a sticky idea, at least in my head. And yeah, I haven't heard from Acorn or Algo yet. I didn't see them say that they won't make it, so I would assume that we're totally on, which means we should probably think about wrapping up here soon. But I wanted to kind of, like, dig into what we're doing here. I want to fix this switch that we got set up. And yeah, so thank you for the follows. Jedge, I don't know if I said that right. Game Changer and Web Developer. Thank you. I could call you Schizo if you want. Does anyone find that offensive, right? To call someone Schizo? It's part of their name. But I don't know, maybe, like, shortening it is actually a pejorative at this point. I'm not sure. Skiz? We already know a skiz. That's playing with scissors, right? Playing with skizzers. We haven't seen them for a while, so I guess we could reuse it. So yeah, skiz would work. What do you think there, web developer? What would you prefer I say? I would prefer something short instead of having to say the whole name. Schizo? Okay. Is there anyone that takes offense to that? Or thinks that it could be offensive? Okay, just making sure. Okay, so Algo Bro's ready. I bet Acorn will be ready here real soon. So leaving off, fix this switch. That's where we're gonna leave off. Let's go raid somebody. And hey, Piano! I like that name. That's actually really good. That's actually really, really good. Yeah, thank you. Awesome. How long you been lurking? Okay, cool. Yeah. Thanks for hanging out. Woiken as well. Yeah, I make great background noise, I think. I'm a little biased on that one, but yeah, I think. Ooh, okay, so we got a couple people we can raid. You know what? I don't think we've had a chance to raid Aiden in a long time. I don't think I've made that happen for a while, so we should. If you're not aware, Aiden makes a bot that I've been meaning to pivot to. Oh, there you go. There you go. Like, talking about Schizo's name. People say I'm paranoid, but I think they're just out to get me. All right, so if you're not aware, Aiden makes Fossabot, and Fossabot is really cool. It would either be Fossabot or Quirk from Alt F4 stream that I would pivot to in a world beyond Night Dev, right? If Nightbot or whatever, sorry, not Night Dev, if Nightbot went away, I would definitely pivot to Fossabot or Quirk, and I'm not sure which yet. But they're both really cool tools. Yeah, and Aiden, super cool dude. I got to meet him at TwitchCon. I think last year was the first time. Yeah, super cool dude. Like, pretty humble too. Like, he built Fossabot and hit a crazy scale with it, and then they basically just hired him. And now he works at Twitch doing, like, yeah, really cool stuff. But also just maintaining Fossabot, basically. So yeah, super cool. But yeah, people over on YouTube and Algora, I'll see you guys again soon. Have a great rest of your day. I'm going to click stop on the YouTube and Algora stuff.